Okay, Google, stop the music. What up, fam? It is your favorite cousin, your favorite uncle, your favorite nephew, your favorite brother, your favorite father, your best friend's best friend. It's me, Dr. Larry, and welcome to the Living For You YouTube channel. And today we have it laid out for you. How are you all doing today? If how you look is any indication of how you doing, then guess what? You are doing A-okay because you are looking marvelous, marvelous, marvelous. Welcome to the channel. I want to say welcome and give a good shout out to my longtime supporters and subscribers. Welcome back. And to those of you who are new, I would like to welcome you all for the very first time. Welcome to the channel. Go ahead and do me a favor. Y'all know how I do. I only ask for you to subscribe, to like the channels and like the videos, and I need you to go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know when I release things. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell somebody you love to come to the channel and indulge in us in this good old life coaching. And then you can go and follow me out on my social media on both Instagram and on Facebook at Dr. Larry Smith. And we're here for you. Let's grow together, let's know together, let's build together. So what's up, family? I know everybody's looking at me like, what does he have on? You know, he look crazy up out there. We're going to get to that. You know, y'all know I'm giving my little gangster swag, however you do it, you know, wear your hat. You know, back in the day, it was like this or something like that. Just giving my whole gangster thing going on. What's up? What's up, family? What's up? Y'all looking beautiful today. I'm glad to see all y'all sitting right here. Go ahead and have a seat. Have a good sit down with me. Today is going to be a very interesting topic. I pay attention to everything, and you guys know that. You guys know I like social media. You guys know I pay attention to the news. I pay attention to what's on television, popular culture, and everything. And I always see different things between brothers. You know, first of all, let me say this from the jump. You guys already know that I love black first. That is what it's about for me. And so my people, we have to get it together. And I live, I breathe, I work, I fight, I exist, so that my people can be successful. I mean, hell, that is what I do. That is why I'm here. My whole purpose as a life coach is to help African American men between the ages of 18 and 40 cope with a trauma that they haven't dealt with, to be able to live present and show up and be of the benefit and the light and the royalty and the power and the resourcefulness that they can be up on this planet. That is why I'm here. That is the entire reason for my being a life coach. So anyway, out there on social media and out there in the world, I have noticed several things, right? Several things. One of which is being how we treat each other, brother, right? A brother who looks like this might get respect on the street from some, might get respect from others just because of how they look, but they might get disrespect from others who don't dress, look, and act like this. And so today I want to talk about how we personally, in our own right, discriminate against one another and treat each other. Brothers like this hating on brothers like, hold on, let me get comfortable. Hating on brothers like this, right? Obviously, you guys know me. You have been with me for quite a while, coming to the table, having a conversation with me. You know, this is more of my comfortable wear. I'm more in comfort when I wear this. This is what I wear. Right, the other garment, it was cool, and I would wear it sometimes back in the day when I was younger, but now I'm more comfortable dressing like this. But we have an issue where people like this discriminate against people like that, and vice versa, where we have this conversation between black man against black man. So I generally say sometimes we have a dichotomy and a disagreement between the black man who is educated in the boardrooms, who is holding down the businesses, who are creating opportunities in government, versus the man who is on the block. The man who is hanging around the corner store, kicking it with his boys, probably not getting into the same type of business that a person in the boardroom's getting into, but getting into his own prospective business. And I know some of you guys are looking at this, actually, believe it or not, this is really me too, right? So there is kind of this dichotomy of me both being two ways. There's me who grew up in an underprivileged neighborhood, which some would call the street life, right? Around different kinds of people, seeing all kinds of different people that definitely know how to be street savvy and street smart and know how to work my way around that. But then also there's this me who's gone to college all these years, who's earned a PhD, who now is the type of person who can also make it in a boardroom as an executive, as a business owner, and have both the mixture of the two. So for me personally, in my own personal life, I don't see the issue with either side. I see that there are two dichotomies to what it means to be a black man, right? We can be in a boardroom just like we can be in a courtroom, if you want to say that. Or we can be on the block just like we can be creating building blocks to the future of the society in America. And we can do both, and they can intermingle, and they can intermix, and they can cross. But a lot of times what I witness is the block shaming, and I witness the suit shaming. From each rather perspective, instead of us opening up and loving just who we are, right? That's how we exist. So this is me comfortable. You might even see me, running around, picking my hair, and people, just the idea, this right here for some people is a lot safer than when they see this, because they assume this has something to do with radicalization. They assume that this has something to do with me being pro-black. I am pro-black, but being pro-black does not mean I'm anti anything else. We are in this culture, this environment, this way of thinking in which we think if you are pro something, that automatically means you are against something else. I am pro-black, which means that I support my people, I support black businesses, I support black interest in government, I support black interest in bettering the black community so that we can thrive and survive and grow and cultivate beyond our experience that was once slavery in this country. I want us to be the best people regardless of our differences within the black community. I want us to be able to be strong, powerful as a people. So I'm pro-black. I can't help but be. Me walking around being a powerful, intelligent, strong-minded, strong, opinionated, very outspoken, direct black man automatically by default sets me in a pro-black status. So I'm pro-black in that regards. But that does not mean that I am anti-white, or I'm anti-Hispanic, or I'm anti-Asian, or I'm anti-Native. I am pro-life for all those people. I am pro-responsibility and pro-happiness and pro-equality for everybody. So it doesn't require that I have to be anti-something to be pro-something. So when you take that mentality on a smaller scale as it relates to the two main different kinds of black men that you see in society. You see those of us who are educated, doing things, building things, and then you see those of us who are on the block. Just because I am pro-education doesn't mean I do not have a sympathy for that brother out there on the block. Just because I am about business building and I'm about self-development and self-growth doesn't mean that I have little care or importance or I am anti that brother on the block. When I say that my specialization is African American men between the 18 and 40, that's all black men. Those who are educated and in boardrooms, some of them can be dealing with trauma just as much as somebody out there dealing with it on the block. And somebody out there on the block may be just as weak and not as strong enough to deal with an issue as somebody who has gone to Harvard and have earned 3 PhDs as a black man. Right? So regardless of where we are socioeconomically, regardless of where we are politically, sexually, or whatever else the case differences that we may have religiously, at the end of the day, what comes first for me is my blackness and the black and my brothers and supporting of my brothers. So this idea of shaming someone because they don't look like you, from whichever perspective, is a very, very dangerous thing. Here's why. A foundation has a set of beams. You guys, if you know about building a house, you know that when they're laying the foundation, what they first do is they lay out the frame. And as part of that frame, it is a series of beams that must be in place. And then they fill the cement or whatever they're filling it with, and then that's laying the foundation. Well, each of those beams represent a diverse, different kind of brother, black man, right? Without one, the foundation isn't strong enough. Missing two, the foundation is even weaker. Too many could also probably present a problem, but the more we have, the better we are as far as building a foundation. And so for me, I support the many different types of brothers that I have within the community for them being who they are and showing up where they are and as they are in the community in order to have this foundation, right? What made me, in my opinion, a well-rounded person is that I did have a sense of street smarts and that I am able to kick it and communicate and discuss and live and exist and be around people who look like me on a different socioeconomic level, quote on, in the hood. I'm not afraid of the hood. I have friends, when we drive through the hood, they lock the doors. I have friends that have all kinds of things to say about people who are from the hood. You know, these black people, those black people, these kind of people have A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z. They have an opinion. It's almost like these black people, because they've made it here, are looking down on those black people who have yet to realize the opportunities and the potential and the value that they have to the community. And so they look down and they talk about them and they feel threatened by them as though they are outside of that. I have never felt that way. I am that. I am part of that. I come from that. I didn't grow up from a privileged background. I didn't grow up from a place where I had a silver spoon in my mouth. Everything that I have ever had to accomplish, I had to earn. I watched my parents work multiple jobs. I've struggled. I've lived in the projects. I've lived in the trailer park. I've lived in some not so tough means, eating bologna sandwiches and ramen noodles for dinner. Egg sandwiches. Y'all know the egg sandwiches. Egg and rice. Y'all know these things. Neck bones and potatoes. Red beans in Louisiana, everybody is all about, ooh, love red beans and rice. That's so New Orleans and all this stuff. But that's really poverty food where I'm from. You can feed a lot of people off of a pack of red beans that you paid $1 and some change for at the grocery store. So it is very important to know these things. So I came from these things, and these things have taught me survival mechanisms that I'm able to use in business, that I'm able to use in when I meet people. People always say, you know, you come across with a lot of confidence. Well, I get that swag from the streets. I get that swag from having to navigate my way and finesse my way through the streets and around certain groups of people that are overly aggressive, that have aggressiveness, that I have to react to them and not allow them to negatively impact me or to be too over aggressive and dominant over me. So I had to have a strong will to survive my upbringing. And so this same strong will that I am able to take out of, I'm able to use in business and use in education and use in traveling and meeting people and being aggressive about what I want to accomplish in life. A perfect example of this, or at least two, Diddy and Jay-Z. I love Diddy. I love Jay-Z for many reasons. One is because we know where they come from, right? We know their example. We know what it took for them to live out in some of the toughest neighborhoods in the country to now being some of the richest men in the country because they were able to overcome that. They were able to overcome that. Hold on. They were able to overcome what we perceive that they were growing up where they grew up. And they were able to come and be very successful. And no doubt, for example, some of those skills and some of those survival mechanisms that Jay-Z learned as a drug dealer out there in Brooklyn, he was able to finesse it in business. And now you see him sitting next to Warren Buffett and Bill Gates as a business strategist and a business mind, something that he more than likely learned selling kilos of crack in Brooklyn. Now, mind you, I don't condone selling drugs. And anybody who know people in my neighborhood back when I grew up, people who I grew up around that I still know who live in the neighborhood, knows that I don't condone selling drugs to nobody mama or daddy or cousin, uncle, auntie, or whatever. I don't condone none of that. I don't condone it. I don't judge people for what they do. I don't judge people for drug usage. It's not for me. And so because of that, I don't condone or condemn it. I don't participate in it. I don't have an opinion about it. But what I will say is that if that same skill to be able to finesse and use the skills and the mouthpiece and the ability to make money and build was used in a corporate room, and the opportunity was there to allow these people to use some of these natural skills that they have, we would have a lot more black CEOs. We would have a lot more black mega business owners, millionaires, and multi-billionaires out there, because some of the skills that I have seen on the streets that people have used to try to survive and to try to hustle, some of those very same skills are what people are doing on the corporate level, thriving and surviving in business. Right? Same thing. But they are seen as less than. My point here is we don't need to do that to each other. My brother is my brother, whether or not he's my brother from another mother, or he my brother from some other, or he my brother that sometimes makes me shudder. He is still my brother. Right? And so I believe that instead of looking down, you should look right across and see yourself in that person, right? How can I uplift that person because I would want somebody to uplift me? Or how can I give that brother a kind word and make him feel as though he is of value and that I see him? Not that I see through him, not that I see down on him, but I see him because I can share in who he is, because I know that brother, because I've been that brother. Let me give you a good example, a story that I have. I remember one time I was walking through the hood. I had just gotten to LA, and I had been taking buses, because when I first got here, I took buses and trains and planes, and everywhere I had to go, I didn't have a car. And I know it sounds weird in LA not to have a car, but for about 2 years and some change, I didn't get a car. And so I took buses and trains and planes and Ubers and whatever else I needed to take to get to where I needed to go. And so as I was walking through the hood down in South Central one day, I just was walking, minding my own damn business. And I walked past another black man, and he just kind of looked at me, and he was like, "You need to stop judging your people." Now, mind you, I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I was just walking. But I was dressed pretty much, I think I had a tie on, and I was coming from work, and I had a sweater on. And so he looked at me upward and saw that, perceived that I was looking at him downward. And so I said, what are you talking about? He said, just know, you shouldn't judge your own people. And so I said, obviously there's something in his spirit that he felt from looking at me, and assumed and imposed on me the judgmental spirit that I don't have. So I said, my brother, let me tell you something. I said, here's the thing you don't know about me. I said, one, I don't judge my people. I said, I see you just like I see me. I see us as equals. We are on the same page and on the same plane. So I do not look down on you. I said, what you don't know about me based on what you perceive is I am an African-American history professor and an African-American and ethnic studies professor. And so my job is to encourage people to love their differences and love the differences of others, and to keep some sense of themselves and be proud of all that it is. What you don't know about me is that I grew up in the South around a bunch of black people, some thriving, some thriving, some not thriving, many diverse, from doctors to crackheads. I grew up around all of that. And so I've seen black success, I've seen black failures, but I know black people because all I know and all I have ever been around is my people. I said, so for you to look at me based on what I am wearing and to make a judgment based on what I believe says more about you than it do about me. Brother, I don't judge you, I see you. And I left it at that. Right? Because he made a judgment looking upwards that I was apparently a different kind of black man than he was, or that he perceives himself to be. And he made the judgment about me. So the judgments work both ways. It works back and forth. And what I'm saying is the judgment is pointless. Right? Black is black is black. Brother, you my brother, I'm your brother. We're brothers across whatever spectrums and differences we might have. We are still at the same level of who we are. Because if I sat in what I had on earlier I'll be treated a certain way. And if I sat on what I had on now in certain places, I'd be treated the exact same way. My clothes wouldn't matter. Because the one thing that I can't change is the skin that I am in. And I have no desire to change it. I love my melanin. I love my shade. I love who I am. But just know that that's what we have in common, that shared experience of that, and we're treated along those lines. I was just watching something the other day where the richest black man in the country was actually saying that he still faced discrimination. So even his money, his green money, didn't stop him from being black discriminated against. I've seen Oprah say that. I've seen all kinds of things. And it's okay. We're okay with that, right? Because we've accepted that reality for ourselves. But what is not okay is for us to do it within our own community. For me to look down on somebody because I think they're in a different socioeconomic or mind state or educational level from me, and for them to look down on me because they might say I'm square or I'm different or I don't fit in, I'm not a real black person because I'm articulate and I speak and I'm educated. We got to stop this. We've got to stop this, right? We got to speak for black people. When Black Lives Matter came out, one of my biggest concerns was, does all Black lives matter? Whether it's gay Black lives, Christian Black lives, Republican, Democrat Black lives, rich or poor Black lives, do all Black lives matter? And the last thing we need to do is build division between us, because there is an opposing factor sometimes outside of us. And so it is important that we work together. But what's not going to get us there is seeing each other differently just because of our experience, our walk, and our life journey has turned out differently. Because at the end of the day, when you strip all of this stuff away, when you move all of this stuff away, I'm still the same person. I haven't changed. I haven't, realign myself with anybody differently, and I am who I am. I am who I am. So that's it. That's it, brothers. We're done. We done said what we had to say about it. Let's love each other. Let's treat each other equally. Let's build with each other. Let's grow and let's get to know each other, right? Because one man might seem to be this and another man might seem to be this, but at the end of the day, we share the same experience. And that experience should be a clear indication that we should love black first. We should build black first. And we should make sure that our community is strong. So if brothers are divided, the community is divided because we're those planks to set up the foundation. Are you willing to work together? Let's do it. All right, that's it. That's it. So y'all know how we do. That was deep. That was serious, y'all, because that's something I've been seeing, the back and forth, and I just wanted to address it directly because that's how we do. We're direct. We're transparent. So y'all know where to go. www.livingforyoucoaching.com. You can hit me up with Dr. Larry Smith on Instagram and on Facebook. You can email me at drlarry@liveforyoucoaching.com. Or you can just come back next week or next video, and we can have a conversation here and subscribe and ask questions and do all those things, and we can build upon that. So as I've always say, peace. I love y'all with the love of God, and I will see you in the next video.